Yes. So this is the question. See the question number 20 on the screen. Naresh of Nagpur consigned 1,000 boxes costing rupees 250 each to Swaroop of Bangalore. Right? So here he is giving consigner is Naresh, consignee is Swaroop. The goods sent on consignment are 1,000 boxes which are costing rupees 250 each. So as I was telling you the other day also, once when you see the question on consignment, first thing you have to see who is the consigner, who is the consignee, what are the goods sent, and the next important thing is you will have to check whether goods have been sent at cost price or invoice price. So tell me in this question, are the goods being sent at cost price or invoice price?
Cost price.
Cost price, correct. Because he did not mention anything about invoice price. He directly said goods consigned costing. Costing, that means at the cost price of 250 each. So we will not have those 3 extra additional entries about loading. So forget about loading in this problem. We need not calculate any loadings. Naresh paid 10,000 on freight, loading and unloading charges. So these are the expenses of Naresh, and he has paid the expenses related to freight, loading and unloading. So all these are related to non-recurring expenses because they will be incurred before the goods have reached the consignee's godown. So we will consider all of them when we are calculating the consignment stock. See the remaining. 20 boxes were damaged beyond repair during transit. When he says during transit, it means during transport. So when the consigner has sent the goods to the consignee, during the transport, 20 boxes were damaged. So they were damaged in the sense it is an abnormal loss which has been caused due to our carelessness or negligence, or in the sense the consigners. So this abnormal loss, we know it is 20 boxes, but what is the value of that loss? We will have to calculate. So that we'll do in the next pro forma, right? Then he says insurance company paid rupees 4,000. So we were lucky that the consigner had already insured the goods. So because he had insured and there was some damage to the goods, he immediately lodged a complaint with the insurance company and the company accepted a claim of rupees 4,000. Right? And always remember the insurance company accepts the claim. The amount is paid maybe a few days later. It takes time for the insurance company to check everything and find out how much acceptance should they give. Until the time we receive the amount, it takes some time. So he says insurance company paid 4,000. It means they have accepted a claim for 4,000. We still do not know what was our actual loss. We will know that when we prepare the accounts. Swaroop took delivery. So now Swaroop is the consignee. So when he took the delivery, first tell me how many goods did he receive?
980.
Yes, he received only 980. Please remember that point. That is very, very important. Consigner sent 1,000 goods, but the consignee received only 980 because 20 boxes were damaged during the transport, during transit. So he took the delivery and he paid 19,600 for dock dues and carriage. Now carriage implies transportation charges. So it might be transport for taking the goods to the godown. And dock dues are all those clearance charges from the custom duties and all that. So both of them are non-recurring expenses. So we will have to consider this 19,600 also when we are calculating the unsold stock. Right? He sold 900 boxes for rupees 412 each. So this is the sales given. 900 boxes were sold. So now what is the unsold stock in the problem?
80 boxes.
80 boxes is the quantity of unsold stock. If you still have a doubt how we got it, anyone has a doubt? See, we sent 1,000 boxes. From 1,000, 20 were damaged. So consignee received only 980. Out of 980, he has sold 900 boxes. That means 80 units are our unsold stock. If you're able to make these calculations properly, then your entire problem will go correct. Right? So 80 units are unsold stock, 20 units are abnormal loss. We know the quantity of both of them. We will have to find out the value of both of them. And consignee is entitled to a commission of 10%. So commission also is given directly. It is only ordinary commission of 10%. We do not have anything called del credar or overriding commission wherein we have to do lots of calculations. So nothing is there. Directly on the sale price, we have to do 10% commission. And then he's asking you to show the ledger accounts in the books of both the parties. So before we start, we should be clear with certain things. First thing, goods are sent only at cost price. Second thing, what is the quantity of consignment stock? What is the quantity of abnormal loss? We have already calculated consignment stock, which is also called as unsold stock. It is 80 boxes. We have to find out the value. Abnormal loss is 20 boxes. We have to find out the value. So if this valuation is done properly, then it's only entering the entries in the accounts. So we will first start with valuation of consignment stock. We all know how it is done, right? We have been doing so many problems on this. So start with this. So I'll take it as cost price of unsold goods. So how will I take it? Unsold goods is 80 units and the cost price of each unit is 250. So tell me the value. 80 units is 250. Quickly.
20,000.
20,000. So that is the cost price. Now I need to add proportionate non-recurring expenses of consignor. Proportionate non-recurring expenses of consignor. And how will I take it? Consignor's total expenses are 10,000. Out of 10,000, I have to find out only the proportionate part. And that proportionate part is 80 units divided by 1,000. Am I doing it correctly? Total expenses are 10,000. I am finding out the proportionate part
Yes, ma'am.
for 80 units, which is unsold. So 80 by 1,000. So how much does that come to? That is, tell me the values quickly. It is 800. You need to tell me the values quickly. Now I will also add proportionate non-recurring expenses of consignee. And I already know consignee's expenses are 19,600 and all of these are non-recurring because he is paying for dock dues and carriage. So both are non-recurring. So 19,600, I'll have to find out the proportionate part. Again, 80 divided by 1,000. So how much does this come to?
1,568.
68.
Okay. So I got this also 1,568. So this is my valuation of unsold stock. So I'll write here as value of consignment stock. So add all the three and tell me what is the value which we are getting. 20,000 plus 800 plus 1,568. It is coming to 22,368. But here he has given 22,400. Did we miss something? Unsold? Yeah. See, we made a mistake here. I'm thinking of that mistake from that time and I still made it again. See, now the change here will be when you are calculating the proportionate non-recurring expenses of the consignee. So how will you do this? Non-recurring
989.
Yeah, you will divide this 80 by 980, not by 1,000. Why are we doing it? Because the consignee received only 980 goods. So how can I divide by 1,000? He did not receive 1,000 goods at all. Right? So is that correct? So now calculate.
1,600.
1,600. So once again, I'll tell you, see, this cost price is same. We know how to calculate 80 into 250 because 250 is the cost of per product. Then proportionate non-recurring expenses of consignor, you will take the total expenses, multiply it with the unsold stock divided by the total stock. So I did this, I got 800. Now you need to be very careful when you're calculating proportionate non-recurring expenses of consignee. So take his total expenses, multiply with the unsold stock, but when you are dividing, you should divide with the stock which he received. I cannot take 1,000 there because he did not receive 1,000. So how did he incur expenses on 1,000 goods? Consignee has incurred expenses only on 980 goods. So I will take 980 only here. So now how much is my total? It is 22,400. So this is my unsold stock. So this part is completed. Anyone has a doubt in unsold stock? Please let me know if you have a doubt. See, if you have a doubt, get it clarified here itself. Otherwise, you'll get confused later on. Any doubt in the consignment stock valuation?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So now we'll proceed to the valuation of abnormal loss. So now listen one thing carefully. The valuation of abnormal loss is done exactly similar to what we do for consignment stock. In the same way, we will do this also, right? So we will again take here as cost of abnormal loss units. So first I'll take the cost price of the abnormal loss, and how much is my loss? He gave me as 20 units, right? So 20 boxes into 250 each, because the cost price is that. So 20 into 250, that will give me 5,000, right? So I've taken this. Next, and proportionate, again, proportionate non-recurring expenses of consignor. See, even though this is loss, consignor has already incurred the expense, right? When will the consignor incur the expenses? When he's loading the goods, when he's packing the goods, or when he's incurring on transport. So all that he has incurred already. So I have to calculate the proportionate part of that. So consignor's total expenses are again 10,000 into my abnormal loss units are 20 divided by my total units are 1,000, right? So 10,000 into 20 divided by 1,000. I am getting 200. Now you can ask me, why am I taking this? I'm taking this because consignor has already incurred expenses on these goods. See, these goods were damaged when they were already on the transport way, on the way of transport. So before sending them, the consignor has already incurred expenses. So I have to calculate the proportionate expenses. So I'm taking his all expenses, multiplying with the abnormal loss units divided by total units. Now, what about the expenses of consignee? Do I take his proportionate expenses also?
No, ma'am.
Why I'll not take them? Why shouldn't
He
I
only
take?
received 980 goods.
Yes, because consignee is incurring expenses only on 980 goods. He did not receive these goods at all. So I will not consider consignee's expenses at all when I'm taking my abnormal loss. Right? So this is only my valuation. That's it. So I will write here as value of abnormal loss. So how much is my value? 5,200, right? Now from
Don't we
this,
have to subtract insurance?
yeah, we are doing that now. So this is my total abnormal loss, right? Now from this total abnormal loss, I will deduct less insurance claim. And how much is my insurance claim? Insurance company is paying me 4,000 rupees, right? Is it correct? It is C. Insurance company paid 4,000. So now I will have the next sentence, which is called as the actual loss. Okay, I will write it as actual abnormal loss transferred to P&L account. Actual loss transferred to P&L account is how much now? It is only 1,200. Now I'll explain once again how I'm doing this. This is very, very important. See, first I'm taking the cost price of the abnormal loss in units, right? Then I'm adding proportionate part of consignor's expenses. I'm not taking consignee's expenses because consignee has not incurred any expenses on these 20 units. He received only 980. So I'm not taking his expenses. So I got the total abnormal loss. This abnormal loss, I will be taking it in the consignment account. So I can write a value of abnormal loss to be shown in consignment account. Right? This amount 5,200, I will show in my consignment account on the credit side as by abnormal loss. Then from this 5,200, he is telling me that insurance company is giving me a claim of 4,000. So I'm deducting that claim, and this remaining 1,200 is my actual abnormal loss, which I'm going to transfer to my P&L account. I will show you how we'll do that. We just need to put the calculations here, right? So my valuation of abnormal loss is done. Anyone has a doubt here? Tell me quickly if you have a doubt here. Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
So we'll proceed. Now put your heading ledger accounts in the books of consignor. So Naresh is the consignor and we are doing the consignment account. So we know the entries, right? So I'll quickly take the entries. My first entry as usual is goods sent on consignment. So you'll have to tell me the values. 1,000 goods at 250 each. So how much does it come to? It would be 2,50,000, right? Am I correct? I've
Yes,
taken
ma'am.
goods sent on consignment. The next entry is for the expenses of consignor. So I will write there to cash in brackets expenses and I'll put the amount as 10,000. Next entry is for advance. There is no advance given in the question. So forget that step. Next, I will take consignee's expenses also. So what is the name of the consignee here? Consignee Swaroop. So I will write here Swaroop and in brackets expenses. So consignee's expenses are 19,600. Then I'll take the consignee sales. So come to the credit side. By Swaroop. In brackets, write it as sales. And see how much is your sales amount. Tell me the sales amount, one of them. He said 900 goods at the rate of, we'll have to see the rate. At the rate of 412 rupees. So that comes to?
Ma'am, 3,70,800.
Okay, 3,70,800. I have taken his sales also. Now I need to take his commission. So come back to the debit side. To Swaroop in brackets commission. And commission, I think it is 10%, is it? Yes, it is 10%. So everyone knows how to calculate commission, right? So the sales amount into 10%. That would give me it would be 37080, right? I think I'm correct. Into 10% I've calculated. So I'll get 37,080 as commission. Now I've taken all these entries. Now two important entries I have to take. First one is consignment stock. So by consignment stock, I've already calculated the value. See the value of my consignment stock. It is 22,400. So I will take that value. Next important entry is abnormal loss. So again, come to the credit side. By abnormal loss. And my value of abnormal loss, I take the total value, 5,200. I'm taking the total value. And don't get confused. Why am I taking abnormal loss on the credit side? I explained this yesterday. See, this is the loss which is due to the negligence of the consignor. So he cannot charge it to the consignment account. He will have to charge this loss to his personal P&L account. That is his overall P&L account. So we are done with the abnormal loss also. Now what do? We need to calculate the profit and loss account. Profit and loss in this problem. So tell me how much is the profit and loss calculation. I will write the entry till there as to profit and loss in brackets profit. Yes, tell me quickly how much is the profit. I'm writing it as to P&L account. And I'll have to put the totals on both the sides. You'll have to tell me the totals as well. Three lakh 7,800 plus 22,400 plus 5,200. So total I'm getting is 3,98,400. Please check the total, one of them. Check if I'm correct. 3,98,400. So tell me what is the profit I'm getting on the consignment. I'm getting a
81.
loss. Is it a profit or is it a loss? Did I do the total correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 3,98,400. Are we getting a profit? Just check if I've taken everything. Two lakh 50,000 is correct. And then expenses are 10,000. That is also correct. Next expenses are 19,600. That is also correct. Commission is also correct. So tell me the profit. How much are you getting?
81,720.
20.
81,720 is a profit. Here he has given it as a loss. Maybe that is wrong because we have taken everything properly. We will see. It's okay. I think that is correct what we
Ma'am,
have
I think
done.
that's the abnormal loss.
No, abnormal loss is abnormal loss we have taken no in the problem. That's correct only. Acha, that is the value of abnormal loss. Yes,
Yes, ma'am, in the question.
correct. In the question, he has given abnormal loss value. Right. So we got our profit. So we are done with the consignment account. So this is how is the change here. Only thing is we'll have to add the value of abnormal loss in the consignment account. This is one extra entry. That's it. Now we'll do the consignees account. All these accounts are common as we do every time. So I will quickly write down the entries. So here I'll get it as true consignment. In brackets, the sale. And the sale value is 3,70,800. 3,70,800. Now come to the credit side. We do not have advance, so I'm directly starting with expenses. So to consignment in brackets expenses. Expenses are 19,600. And then the commission. So once again, I'll write by consignment in brackets commission. Commission is 3,70,80. That's it. We do not have any other entry in the consignees account. And did he tell us how is he paying the balance? No, nothing is given to us. So we can just write balance carried down and close the problem. Right? So I will write here as by balance carried down. Tell me the balance amount left over. I'm putting the totals till then on both the sides. One of you please tell me the balance. And once again, I'll have to write to balance brought down. That is B by D. So quickly tell me the balance amount.
3,14,120.
3,14,120. Okay. 314,120. Right? 314,120. I will just put this also in the normal figures. Yeah. So my consignees account is over. Now coming to goods sent on consignment, that is also same. Just take by consignment. By consignment account, it was 2,50,000. We do not have any other entry here. So directly transfer the balance to trading account and close this ledger account. So to trading, in brackets, I can write it as balance because I'm transferring the balance amount here. And my balance is entire 2,50,000. So just put the totals on both the sides. So totals are again 2,50,000. Yes. Now we will do the abnormal loss account. So this is a new account, which we did not do till now. So abnormal loss account, see in any of the accounts, where have we written abnormal loss? We have written only in consignment account, right? And here you have written it as by abnormal loss. So what will you write here?
To consignment.
Yes, so I will come here and write it as to consignment account. And my abnormal loss is written there as 5,200, right? So I will always take that here. Now what I will do is I will take on the credit side whatever is my insurance claim. So I will write here as by insurance claim. And my claim amount was 4,000. So now whatever is the balance left over, I should transfer that balance to my P&L account. That is what I have done here. I've already calculated it is 1200. Even if I do not calculate it here, see these two steps, it's okay if I don't take here also. I can stop the problem till here. Once when I'm doing my abnormal loss account, I can show that. So what should I do in the abnormal loss account? Always take the loss on the debit side. Then whatever is your claim that comes on the credit side, and then balance the account. Whatever is your balance, transfer it to P&L account. So I'm getting a balance on the credit side. So I will write the entry as by P&L account. So just write the entry as by P&L account or by profit and loss account, right? And my balance is 1200 rupees, which I'm transferring. That's it. So now put the totals on both the sides, and my totals are 5200. That's it. So my problem is completed with my abnormal loss account is done. This is how you need to do the account every time. Just take the total loss on the debit side as to consignment. Whatever you are receiving from the insurance company, take it on the credit side and transfer the balance to P&L account. So if you're not receiving anything from insurance company, then what happens? Tell me what will happen if insurance company is not accepting our claim at all. It is not giving us anything.
No entry.
So this entry will not be there. Then what will happen to your P&L account? Entire 5200 will become your P&L, because that entire thing is a loss, right? So now this P&L account is the overall profit and loss account of the consignor, wherein he is showing this loss of 1200, because his actual loss is only 1200, right? So now we'll complete off the consignor's account also quickly. So I will write here as buy cash for his sales amount. It is 3 lakh. What was that sales amount? I'm forgetting every time. 3,70,800. Same entries we know as we did in the consignee's account. Come to the debit side, 2 cash for his expenses, which are 19,600. Again, 2 commission, and his commission was 37080. That's it. And then write the balance. So 2 balance carried down. You'll get the balance here. And our balance was, let us just see here. How much was the balance? 314,120. And then I'll put the totals on both the sides. So 370,800 are my totals on both the sides. And then I'll once again write by balance brought down. So by balance brought down is 314,120. That's it. So we have completed the problem. So if you look at the problem, it's very, very simple. Only difference is we are preparing an extra account called the abnormal loss account. So this is a compulsory 15 marks question. So first calculate the consignment stock, then calculate your value of abnormal loss. If you are doing these 2 parts correctly, your problem will go correct. There is no chance of mistake after this. Only these 2 parts are tough. Then do all the ledger accounts in the books of consignor. You will be preparing 4 accounts: consignment account, consignee's account, goods sent on consignment account, and abnormal loss account. And then finally, ledger accounts in the books of consignee, where you will prepare only 1 account, that is the consignor's account. Anyone has a doubt in any of this? Please let me know, because all other problems now, whatever we are going to solve, will be in the similar format. If you want, I can scroll it up and down, quickly take down the problem.
Ma'am, can you go to second account, ma'am? Yes.